This is just a common theme that's trying to reconnect business trouble. So, hello, everybody. Dr. Mark Health here with you tonight. Thanks for joining me after the end of a long work day. Some of you were probably really deliberating if you could hold your eyes open long enough for 25 minutes of hanging out with me. If that's the case, you might be one of the few, one of some, whatever, dreading the weeks to come. So, daylight savings time is coming in hot. For those of you slackers out there who don't know, November 4th, so next Saturday, yeah, I had to make sure, aka 4 days before the best day of the year, my birthday. So, sidetracked. Hey, Tiff. So, difficulty sleeping, common denominator we see in kids and adults alike in our practice. And actually, it's out in the community, it's friends, it's family, between insomnia and sleep apnea, no energy motivation, which then further snowballs into trouble fighting off immune infections and pathogens, to trouble concentrating, to lack of desire to do anything, to meet up with friends, to do activities you love. So prior to the 1950s, people believed that sleep was just this dormant thing and that your brain and your body just hung out while you were... No, I actually didn't know that was election day. I'm not very good with politics. No, so prior to the 1950s, people thought that your brain, your body just laid dormant while you slept. We now know that your brain is doing a ton of behind the scenes work while you're sleeping. And those behind the scene processes are wicked important, not just for your life, but most importantly, your quality of life, okay? So if you have trouble sleeping at night, you're definitely not alone. This is an old study too, so I would imagine this number is actually higher now. In this study, 25% of the population has trouble getting enough sleep, and 10% report, is it Nordine? Yep. Thanks for joining us. Another 10% report chronic ongoing insomnia. So a lot of people will say that it could be worse, or that it's always been like this, or I'm tough and I can push through, or that it's normal. And even actually, if they know that it's not normal, they don't really know what to do about it. So why are they struggling? Why are you struggling? Why are your kids struggling? And how can you flip it around so that your family can get real rest for real? That's why you're here, and that's hopefully what I'm going to help you figure out tonight. So when we were talking about topics for this series, and we're talking about daylight savings time and energy and motivation, I said that I was going to sleep on it. If you haven't watched my videos before, I have really lame sense of humor and I love puns, so they're kind of sprinkled in here. Anyways, but no, sleep is something that I haven't always, I've undervalued and overlooked. I shared this in a newsletter a couple weeks ago, but I was notorious for pulling all-nighters when I was younger. So studying for tests, completing a project, I was a master procrastinator, people. Fast forward now, there is no way in heck that I would be able to do that. One, I physically could not do it, and two, I know how important sleep is. But also, there are a lot of important people in my life who work really wacky hours that I could never hack. So, sleep is a topic that is super near and dear to me, you would say. So, do you want to know what is normal? So, getting the appropriate amount of sleep, falling asleep within 15 minutes of lying down, sleeping all night without waking, having enough energy to get through your day without feeling like you're dragging ass, and not needing caffeine and coffee to do it, that is normal, okay? So if that is not your family's reality, it's time to sink into your mattress of all things sleep. All right, because not getting enough sleep, it goes far beyond just feeling groggy and sluggish and tired. All right, so most people are aware that there is an ideal number of hours of sleep to get. And the widely accepted standard, I guess you would say, people believe is 6 to 8. However, this number varies largely based on age, and this is because of what's happening while we sleep. Okay, so I'm going to post a chart, and for some reason we can't post it during the video, but I'll post a chart in case you're curious that shows how many hours of sleep you should be getting. So there was a wicked smart group of researchers from like Harvard or Stanford or Acme University. I'm just kidding. That's a cartoon. But it was a group of researchers from Harvard. They looked at some 300 studies and came up with the ideal number of Z's that you should be getting. So if you are a newborn, 1, how the heck are you on Facebook? I commend you. Number 2, I told you I have lame sense of humor. Number 2, your newborn should be getting 14 to 17 hours of sleep every day. They sleep a lot, okay? Your teenager, age 14 to 17, should be sleeping 8 to 10 hours. And then as an adult, we need 7 to 9. So if sleep is cut short, our body doesn't have time to complete the stages that it needs to. So for muscle repair, for memory consolidation, to release hormones, and those hormones actually affect growth and appetite. So we're shortchanging a lot of really important stuff. And then we wake up in the morning and we can't concentrate, and we have a hard time making decisions, and then we can't fully engage in work, in school, in social activities, in fun. So if you've ever woken up and felt kind of foggy, you're probably not surprised to hear that sleep and brain function are super related. So first of all, healthy amount of sleep is vital for what's called neuroplasticity, okay? Neuroplasticity is our brain's ability to adapt. So not just to what's going on in our environment around us, but also what's going on in our internal environment, what's going on within our body, okay? So if we sleep too little, we can't process what we've learned during the day, and then we struggle remembering it in the future. There's also research that shows our brain, when we are asleep, takes waste products away from our brain. So when we're awake and we're constantly spinning, we're not getting those waste products away. Sleep is also super important for the rest of the body too. So when people don't get enough sleep, health risks go up. So we're going to see symptoms of high blood pressure, of depression, of seizures, of migraines. How many people have you heard say, I've got a headache, I just need to go to bed? That used to be me, often. Our immune system goes to pot, so we're at higher risk for infections, for illnesses. Sleep also has a role in metabolism. So most people don't realize when we are, you miss out on a night of sleep, it actually sends your body into even if you're otherwise healthy, it'll send you into I guess you'd call it like a pre-diabetic state. And actually, most people don't, I need to quit saying most people don't realize or most people know, blah, blah, blah. This is just what it is. So when we are sleeping, our body produces a hormone called leptin. And leptin is a hormone that helps us to regulate our appetite. So when you are pulling an all-nighter, or if you've ever stayed out too late and you get the munchies, that's not because you have crappy willpower. Well, maybe you do have crappy willpower. I don't know you. But it's actually a biological response because you don't have leptin in your system to tell your body that you're not hungry. So there are tons of important connections between health and between sleep. And sleep architecture, sleep patterns, whatever, alternates between REM, rapid eye movement, and NREM, non-rapid eye movement. And so in a typical night, that cycle repeats itself roughly every 90 minutes, okay? So NREM is about 75% of that, and that's when we first fall asleep. So stage 1, it's kind of that in between being awake and being asleep. And then the second, stage 2 is going to be light sleep. So during stage 2 is when our body temperature drops, our blood pressure, our heart rate, those drop too, okay? Stages 3 and 4 are going to be your deep sleep. And people used to think that REM is the most important sleep phase for learning, for memory, but actually they're saying now that those third and fourth stages of sleep are when your body is actually doing the restoring, and it's actually the most restful. REM, on the other hand, makes up about 25% of our night's sleeping, and it replays every 90 minutes, okay? And then it gets longer as the night goes on. So as you cycle in REM sleep, if you watch your little kid sleep, or maybe you have watched your spouse sleep, I don't know if you're a creeper or not. Maybe you're not a creeper. Maybe you just do that. I don't know. But you can see the eyes twitch back and forth underneath their eyelids, hence rapid eye movement. So they found brain waves at that time are actually similar to when we are awake. So our breathing rate starts going back up, and our body actually is, so I guess you call it temporarily paralyzed. If you've ever woken up your kid while they're sleeping and they can't move, or if you've ever been abruptly woken up, it's not because you're lazy. That's science at play, people. So two main drivers when it comes to sleep. They are circadian rhythm and our sleep drive. So circadian rhythm, it's controlled by our body's biological clocks, okay? And it's in our brain. And one of the biggest functions of the circadian rhythm is to respond to light cues. So it ramps up melatonin production at night when it's dark out, and then it switches it off when it senses light during the daytime. Super interesting, people who are totally blind actually have a lot of trouble going to sleep because their brain isn't able to sense when it's daytime and when it's nighttime, so their body doesn't have any melatonin circulating. Sleep drive also plays a role in sleep. So just like with hunger, you build up hunger and you hear your tummy rumbling. By the way, that's because of gas that's in your gut. Anyways, your body builds up a desire for sleep also. And when it reaches a certain point, your body goes to sleep. The difference between hunger and sleep is that you cannot eat, when you're hungry. When your body reaches a certain exhaustion point, though, it can make you sleep. It can put you to sleep while you're driving. It can put you to sleep while you're in a meeting, while you're sitting at the supper table, okay? Also super cool, when you're actually at that exhaustion point, your body's actually even able to engage, they call it micro sleep. So your eyes are still awake, and I don't know why I did this like I was going to show you something. But your eyes are open and you engage in this micro sleep. So 1 to 2 seconds, and then that's it. And they've actually shown that if you nap for 30 minutes later on in the day, it can actually mess up this sleep drive. And I actually heard this one time by a psychology professor in college, and I don't know if it's right or not, but what he said, what we learned, is that you shouldn't nap after 3 p.m. Whether or not that's true, I couldn't tell you, but I have carried that through to my adult life, and I'm a pretty decent sleeper, okay? So if there are bodily processes that regulate circadian rhythms and sleep drive and when we sleep and how we sleep, why can't everybody fall asleep easily and stay asleep? 3 reasons we are going to talk about tonight: stress, technology, and then self-sabotage, aka horrible routines. So working long hours, taking care of our kids and running them everywhere, overdoing it on caffeine or alcohol or drugs. P.S. Did you know that woman also, humans, the only mammal that willingly delays sleep? We can be a bunch of real boneheads sometimes, don't you think? As important as sleep is, yes, we can be stupid sometimes. So far and away, stress is going to be the biggest culprit limiting sleep. Stress is so ingrained in our lives that many of us don't even notice it anymore. So there are 2 main types of systems in our body that functions to regulate processes, regulates everything. So we've got the sympathetic nervous system, which is your gas pedal. And then you got the parasympathetic nervous system, which is your brake. So the sympathetic nervous system, we call it the gas pedal. And what it is, it's your fight or flight, your stress response. So adrenaline pumps when we are in pain, when emotions are in play, when we are stressed, when there's trauma, when we are scared. What it does is it dilates our pupils. It pumps up our heart, our lungs, our respiration. It engages our muscles and tightens them because we are either ready to run away or to fight and defend ourselves. The parasympathetic nervous system, on the other hand, that's what we call the brake pedal, okay? And that's responsible for controlling processes like rest and digest. So that part, the brake pedal, should be engaged when we are at home after a long day, when we are digesting food, when we are sick. But because everybody is in just this rat race of go, go, go and eat crap and all of that, that becomes our pattern, okay? So if you can't fall asleep as fast as you should, which should be within 15 minutes, if you fall asleep but can't sleep throughout the night, if you wake up and your energy is if you can't relax, if your mind is racing and your muscles feel like they're tense and tight and you wonder if sleep is even worth it, more than likely your sympathetic, your adrenaline, your fight or flight response is stuck on. And obviously, we can't always control, we can't always remove external stress. I mean, we need jobs, we need relationships, we need money, we go to church. I mean, there's a million things at play all the time. What we can do is improve our reactions to it. And that is where chiropractic comes in. So chiropractic adjustments, what they do is they upregulate that gas pedal, all right? So they put the brakes on the stress response. This allows us to rest, to digest, to repair, to sleep, to restore, to grow, to heal, to do all that important stuff, okay? So after you've gotten your booty to a family chiropractor, there are some other things that we can do. So meditation is huge. We really like the Headspace app. You can download it on your phone. Yoga. Obviously, we have 2 kick butt instructors here. And there was another thing I was going to mention. Nope, why can't I think of it? 2-to-1 breathing. So, I should find a video on that for you too. So what it is where your exhalation is twice the amount of your inhalation. All of those things, what they're going to do is they're going to stimulate that parasympathetic, that brake pedal. So with the case of the 2-to-1 belly breathing, what you do is you take a breath in. So let's just say for 2 counts. And then you let it out for 4 counts. Right like that. And I probably don't need to count them out with you. You're grown-ups, unless you're like that newborn from earlier who's popped on, then I don't know how this is working, and I maybe am tired, and I'm not ready for daylight savings time. So, did we talk about daylight savings time? Oh, nope, okay. Sorry, I'm getting delirious. Technology is the next hurdle we're going to talk about. And I've got some stats here for you that I'm not going to remember, so I'm just going to read them off, okay? So 95% of people aged 18 to 29 sleep with their phone next to their bed, all right? 25% of people don't silence their phones before they go to bed. Another 50% of people, if they wake up in the night, immediately go right to checking their phone. So for starters, the exposure to light bulbs, to the light coming from your screen, to TVs, to any sort of electronic gadgets, what it does is it actually turns down that melatonin production. Remember we talked about, November 4th, honey Sherry, you missed the beginning part of this. I got you. So it's going to shut down melatonin production in our bodies. So remember when we said that melatonin levels naturally rise at dark time when it's dark and it makes you sleepy? So, which is why when daylight savings time comes around and it's darker sooner, we feel tired earlier, okay? So the trick is to not ignore when your body tells you to go to sleep. If you ignore it right off the bat and you don't go to sleep, your body learns, we don't need to listen to those signals. We don't need to go to sleep. Not really important. So, for lack of a better way to say it, listen to your body. Follow your natural circadian rhythm. Like I said, it sounds weird. It's true. Oh, I love you too. I don't know if that's just because, this is my aunt, by the way. I don't know if that's just because you're saying that or if this is good information. Hopefully some of that. But talking about getting into a habit of putting away the gadgets ties in beautifully with our self-sabotage. So my first piece of advice, or maybe it's the 10th piece, I don't really know what you heard, I don't have a count going here. Limit technology use to an hour before bed. Use that time to read or to do one of the other activities we talked about, like meditation or journaling or yoga, or, it would be perfect right before you go to sleep, an adjustment. Most people ignore signals a lot, but don't really know what they mean and don't know how to put them together. I don't know, hopefully I'm helping people put it together, I suppose. No, if you could get an adjustment, but we don't have bedtime hours. And if we had bedtime hours, this would be a totally different conversation and people would be wondering what kind of a red light operation we're running here. That's not the point, but an adjustment to help your brain shut down. So, along with maintaining a schedule. So most people are getting too much light at night. The other component to sleeping well is getting light during the daytime. So ideally, we would aim for 30 to 60 minutes in the middle of the day. So what that does is it actually synchronizes your body. It helps your body to know, it's daytime, I should be awake and active and doing stuff, because it turns on those biological clocks. And then we need dark at night to tell our body, we need melatonin, we need leptin, we need nutrients and resources and energy to heal. We need to do a million different things. All right. So if you have little kiddos at home that need a nightlight, or if you're like Dr. Tiffin or just a weenie and need a nightlight, I don't even know if she has a nightlight. I'm just picking on her. It wouldn't surprise me though. Get a red or a yellow or an orange one. So those bandwidths are actually, is it shorter? I don't remember if they're shorter or longer. I just know light in those bandwidths don't mess with your melatonin production, okay? And then it's ironic that we're going to talk about this as I sit here with my cup. If you know me, I'm not a coffee drinker, not until I started here. And ding, 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 ding. I can't have very much, but caffeine has been called the most overutilized drug in the world. So we consume it every day in tea, in coffee, in cocoa, in chocolate, in soft drugs, in drinks, and soft drinks, and maybe your drugs are hard or soft. I don't know. We have it every day. So if you're going to have caffeine, what I would do is I would have it before noontime, okay? Because your body's going to have the best chance of metabolizing it out and processing it. Also, keep the temperature in your bedroom below 70. I do not know one person who says that they sleep crappier when it's cold. No, wait, how am I trying to say this? Everyone I know says that they sleep better when it is cold. I don't ask that many people. The people that have told me that information sleep better when it's cold. That's because your body temperature naturally decreases when we are in that stage 2, starting stage 2, getting into stage 3 and 4 of NREM sleep. So that puts your body into a sleepy state of mind. So going to bed should not be the part in your day that you dread most. Going to bed should not be the part in your day that you look forward to the most. Yes, there are certainly long days and harder days when you're like, that's fine. Okay. You can be excited to go to bed then. That's not what I'm saying, but they shouldn't be consistently. All right. So, my wish, hopefully, that you glean some useful information. You learned a little bit about sleep and how your body regulates it. My advice, get your butt adjusted, get into a good routine, ditch that technology, folks. I mean, even if they say that technology during the day even affects sleeping at night, even if it's prior to that hour. So if you want to be bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, adjustments, no technology for at least an hour before bed. Routine, mark out. That's too gruff. I wouldn't say that. But have a wonderful night. Any questions, please do not hesitate to reach out. If you have concerns, please do not hesitate to reach out. Otherwise, have a fantastic evening, everybody. Ta-ta.